All right, folks, buckle up, because what we're about to witness is not your average courtroom drama. We're diving into a case where one individual is facing their 5th DUI. Yes, 5th. That's right. 5 strikes on the road, and the law is finally calling game over. But it's not just about the numbers. This case highlights how repeated choices can escalate legally, emotionally, and financially. Stick around, because the courtroom exchanges here are equal parts tension, legal nuance, and jaw-dropping reality checks. Ever wondered how the law handles repeat offenders? Well, this is your front row seat.
This is your 5th DWI, ma'am. You're saying it's not. Guilty to operating a motor vehicle while intoxicated, but this is a 3rd-degree felony because you pleaded true to the second paragraph, which included allegations of 4 prior DWI convictions dating back to 2007. And paragraphs 1 and 2 constitute a 3rd-degree felony, so you were facing up to 10 years in prison. Well, that's not the real problem. The problem is this is your 5th DWI that we know about. 4th. No, ma'am, you got 4 prior convictions. In May 31st, 2007, County Court of Law 3 of Jefferson County, you were convicted to operating a motor vehicle while intoxicated. After that, on August 27th, 2008, which would be a little over a year later, in County Court of Law 3, another operating a motor vehicle in a public place while intoxicated. Then a little over 4 years later, on December 3rd, 2012, you picked up 2 cases. You were convicted of 2 cases in cause number 907764 and 12-15124 out of the 252nd District Court next door. Those were 2 separate DWIs.
Yeah, she was
that were handled in the same proceeding. But this is your 5th DWI.
Yeah, the 4th one, Your Honor, was used to revoke her probation on the 3rd. And that's why they were both the same day.
I know that's still bad.
Yeah,
but here's the problem. This is the problem. She's standing there, but is not appearing coherent. I know more about her criminal history than she does. This is your 5th DWI, ma'am. You're saying it's not. We've got to resolve that first. You should know more about your life than I should ever.
Right.
But why are you saying this is your...
I didn't think it was, sir. That's God's truth.
Well, I think there's some mental problems here. I think there's some mental problems here. I mean, what's the state say? Or do we have 4 separate prior convictions of DWI?
Yes, Judge, we do.
Okay.
You want me to show them to you?
No, believe me.
But I shouldn't have to be trying to convince you. This is your life.
Well,
you should be more intimately familiar with your mistakes than me.
I know how many times I got arrested.
Ma'am?
I know how many times I got arrested. That's
not a conviction. Being arrested, that's probable cause that you might have done something wrong, but you're presumed innocent unless you're found guilty. That's what's important for convictions. It's not a good deal to be arrested for whatever reason. That needs to be fixed, but until you're found guilty, or unless you're found guilty, we're not talking about any other arrests. We're talking about convictions here in this.
Okay.
And that's what sentencing is all based upon, criminal history of convictions and the circumstances of this crime. And it's DWIs that's your only criminal history, but you got this last time they gave you a break on your 3rd. You were given a break. You were placed on probation, and then that was revoked with another DWI. And then you were sentenced to 5 years in prison. right?
Correct.
Okay. But you understand the way things happen is when you commit further or subsequent criminal behavior in the same subject matter, the penalties go up. You don't get less punishment for subsequent behavior of the same type. Do you understand?
Right.
All right. I just wish you'd make the right decision when you get into a 4,000-pound missile. It does terrible tissue damage when it hits humans in collisions.
Yes,
we have this every day. We have to deal with tragedies in this room on misuse of motor vehicles. I'm looking at what was presented. I guess, Frank, you presented this from Diagnostic Health.
Yeah, yes, sir. And I gave it. It didn't get in our report, but I brought it to her 2 weeks ago, which is a week ahead of when we were supposed to be here the first time. Even going to probation would be difficult, and she doesn't want probation. What she'd like, Your Honor, and I know it's kind of unusual, is 2 years jail time, and she'd pay a $5,000 fine, and you could even add safe fee. She's never gone to drug treatment or anything ever. Or alcohol treatment. She's not an addict. She's an alcoholic.
Well, how do I put her in safe P, substance abuse felony punishment, when she goes to prison?
That is prison.
No, that's a condition of probation.
Well,
that's the way we do that. It's safe P is not supposed to be.
Well, she doesn't.
Punishment. It's a medical facility, but that's not a condition under the statute when you get, if they want to send her, if the state of Texas wants to send her to a facility, I guess I can't stop that as part of her confinement, but I can't order it and then place her in prison. But also the problem is, Frank, is it defies logic and the historical significance of the way the criminal system works. You don't get less punishment for the same subsequent misbehavior. What kind of deterrence aspect is that? It's supposed to deter people by more punishment each time you make the same wrong choice.
Well, because of her health issues, Your Honor, she's willing that you'd give her 2 years jail and she'd voluntarily pay a $5,000 fine only because of her health concerns or concerns for her. That's the unusual circumstance. I understand that each time you commit a DWI, you don't get less punishment.
Well, that's what y'all are proposing. 2 years in prison is less punishment than we had last time.
But you'll pay a fine of $5,000. Let's pay finally at least make some money.
Here's what's fair is fair. Just because somebody can pay a fine, most people in here can't. So you have money, then you can avoid being held responsible. I mean, if I was a poor person, I'd say, I don't have that kind of money. Why do the rich people get treated differently? I thought that we were all treated fairly under the law.
Well,
and that's the way I kind of believe it should be.
I agree with you, Honor, but her health issues are the other factor need to be factored in, and that's why I brought the medical.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's got, she's on a walker. She's got osteoporosis, which is a pretty serious thing, and she could just, break a bone walking, not just falling or something.
Okay, but she can still drive a car.
No, not like that. I've been able to drive.
She'd surrender her license if she could,
Okay. Well, we know you were driving one October 19th of 23.
Yeah.
And then after that, you got sick?
I failed.
You weren't ill before that?
No, I failed.
Well, what was... We're down to It begs the question, really. There's a problem when you commit 5 DWIs, man. There's a problem there. And this osteoporosis has just come up after your fifth DWI. How can you explain the misbehavior and the wrong choices?
It was wrong.
How many wrong mistakes do you have to make to do something about it? We even tried to help you with probation, and that was revoked because you got another DWI.
Right.
Wow, probation. Okay. All right.
I think what strikes me the most is that the defendant has minimized her responsibility until today. It was refreshing a little bit to hear her say, take responsibility. I was wrong.
Okay.
She minimized her responsibility throughout the investigation. Cap, 6 years TDC, revocation. 6 years TDC.
Operating motor vehicles in public places, and you were sentenced to, you were placed on probation last time. That was revoked, and you were sentenced to 5 years in prison. The agreement is a cap of 6 years in prison. I hereby find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of this third-degree felony. In paragraphs 1 and 2, I'm following this agreement. You are hereby sentenced to confinement in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Criminal Justice to serve a term of 6 years. And I just wish we all weren't put in this position. I just wish you would fix this mess. But you have to know you are a blink of an eye from fatalities when you're operating a 4,000-pound missile, especially intoxicated. And not only you, but everybody else on the road relies on each other to act responsibly with 4,000-pound missiles zipping around the road. And for whatever reason, you did not learn from these prior convictions. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck, man.
And there you have it. 60 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice, a stark reminder of what happens when repeated poor choices collide with reality. What really hits hard here is how the law tries to balance punishment, deterrence, and human error, but sometimes the consequences are unavoidable. This wasn't just a legal lecture, it was a wake-up call. For everyone watching, remember, the decisions you make behind the wheel don't just affect you. They can change countless lives in the blink of an eye. And honestly, watching this unfold, it's a mix of frustration, disbelief, and, a lesson in accountability that's impossible to ignore. So, what do you think? Was justice served, or could the system do more to prevent repeat offenders? Drop your thoughts below.